If you're like me and you have acreage, I am sure you can relate. Sometimes keeping an eye on everything can be really difficult. Now that's never been an issue for us up by our house because I have a whole network of Reolink cameras up there. And so up at the house, it's basically Fort Knox. But out here, that's not the case. Actually, that's the case. But today, that all changes. The fine folks at Reolink sent me a camera to try out, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. Flying high on that pole up there is the Reolink OMVI 3i PoE surveillance camera. This thing's impressive. As much as I like you guys, I am not taking that thing down so you can see it. However, I will take you up there to see it. I tell you, this thing's kind of creepy. Every time I keep walking around, it just keeps tracking me. How you doing? I'm not filming, that's fine, just fly over, that's cool. All right, so there it is. This is an 18 megapixel camera. The top I believe is 10 and the bottom is 8. What's awesome about this is you got dual view here. So you got these two cameras looking out. I'm gonna show you live footage here in a few moments. You got these two cameras here looking out across the pond to give you a perfect 180. I believe the current view of this will cut from like this tree all the way to where the far side of the camera cuts now. And this bottom camera can do almost a full 360 other than kind of where the post is. It's a PoE camera. You can see my shoddy job here. This is all going to get rebuilt and I'll put conduit on this at some point, but this is for testing purposes. Right here you can see that it's got lights on it for viewing at nighttime as well as infrared. And another cool feature about the outside of this unit is it can turn the entire panoramic spot to however you want. So when you mount it, you're not stuck to just having it point straight out. You could mount it where you need to mount it and then, you know, rotate it as needed. I could stand here and talk about this camera all afternoon, but you likely want to see some screenshots and video, which I'm going to jump to here in a moment. A couple other features about this thing that are really cool though. So with those two camera sets, you know, the top wide angle and the bottom PTZ, you get two separate views or two separate streams from one camera. There's a lot of cool functionality that you can do with that because you can use the main camera, the panoramic, to watch a wide area and then you can PTZ and follow other objects. Speaking of that, this camera will follow things. It's got an auto detect functionality. A while ago when I first came out here to shoot this video, I was driving the Defender, and as soon as I pulled in the lot, it started following me around. And you can have it set for vehicles, animals, people, and there's varying degrees of sensitivity on there as well. Here's a view of the cameras from the Reolink app. What's really nice about Reolink is you have the option of using the app, which can be launched on your cell phone or a tablet, or you can also use the desktop version, which is my preferred version, and I will show you here in a moment. Just going to sweep this PTZ part of the camera back to mirror the panoramic camera here. I want to show you a little functionality here in the Reolink app before I move into the desktop. As you can see here, we can zoom. It's a digital zoom. Pretty nice picture. That's the PTZ side. Let's do the same for the panoramic. Doesn't look like we have near the zoom on the panoramic as we do the PTZ side, which is fine and probably expected, but nonetheless nice functionality. So one feature I want to highlight here, and then we'll move to the desktop app, is this pinpoint option here. You see the yellow box pop up when I click that. So it pops up on the panoramic side and I can click wherever I want and the PTZ side will then follow it. So if I click my trailer here, it then tells the PTZ camera to, hey, go check out the trailer. Or if I want to go back to the hay elevator for firewood, automatically does it. So nice functionality. Again, it has tracking features. I'll show you those in a moment. I think this is the only feature not available in the desktop app, and I believe that's likely to do with most desktops aren't going to have touchscreen. It might be available, and I haven't found it yet, but I don't believe that it is. Everything else I believe is available in the desktop version. So here we are back in the desktop app. This is the PTZ side of the camera. And if I go back one, there is our panoramic camera. You can see we can do the same things we could do in the other app. We can zoom. This does not have PTZ, so let's go to PTZ side. You can do the same kind of functionality. You can change the speed of your cursor. So if I put this baby way up here, now we're off to the races. So speed it up, slow it down, lots of different bits of functionality. You can set monitor points on this, and you can have a main preferred one. So if I go to monitor point, this is where you set it. I click return to monitor point. It's going to go back to the main entry point for the barn lot by the outdoor shower. This is where it will default. After 60 seconds, it will always come back here if I'm not doing any kind of other monitoring or activity. You can also set a number of preset locations. So if I go in here to presets, you can see I got the drive-in, which is where we're at now, kind of the parking area, the beach, a more dedicated look at the pond, the wood yard. Someone should be over here splitting this. What is going on? I need to get some work going here. And you can also set patrol points. So if I click patrol, I can pick, 4 or 5 locations. I think it's 4. And it will jump around at certain intervals and check them all out. You can have, I think, like 64 of these presets if you want, but only monitor 4 on your patrol functionality here. There's no way I can get into all the settings on here. Here's a quick video of tracking. This is when I first pulled into the barn lot on the Defender. And so you can see when I pull in, the camera just starts to follow me along. This is a recorded video from earlier. You can set the camera to record, people, animals, vehicles, and there's varying sensitivity levels. But as you can see, it does a pretty decent job of following me. I've tried to use it at night. It does an okay job at night. What's nice about a nighttime find is those lights will also turn on, and there's a little alarm on there too that I believe you can set to trigger. So just kind of alerts people that, hey, there's a camera in the area. You got lights and audible sounds, and they're being actively tracked, which is pretty cool. Here's another cool thing I found the other day. I caught this hawk sitting at the end of the hay elevator. I was just scrolling the app using the find animals functionality and saw it sitting up there. Thought that was pretty cool. Another neat feature here, it's got a time-lapse functionality. Not that this is security related, but just another cool thing. So I set this up and you kind of see the shadows moving there in the bottom left corner. And then here's some night footage of me the other night working on electric out by the outdoor shower, because who doesn't need electric at their outdoor shower? And here we are live again. I didn't show you how far this thing could sweep. So there it is maxed out, staring back at the pole. Well, there it is maxed out. Now if we go all the way back to the right, see how far this field of view really reaches. Slow down there for a minute. That's another reason to stay on PoE versus Wi-Fi. They do have a Wi-Fi version coming, but you're going to get better results with a PTZ camera hardwired than you are probably a Wi-Fi. At least that's my experience. You can see the playback icon up here. You do have to put an SD card in this, or a MicroSD card in this if you want to record. I've got a 256 gig card in here, and I get about 4 days worth of footage out of that. You can also plumb it to your NVR. I have a network video recorder for all my other cameras at the house, and that's an option too, which I may do at some point too. That way all my recording is in-house and not tied to the unit itself. Look at that backhoe. Look at the old girl. Get a bird's eye view. That's the real reason I have this camera, is so when I'm not home, I can keep an eye on my beloved backhoe here. Ain't she purty? She needs some love. What I love about this camera is that it's one unit out here. I'm not running cable to 15 different locations like I did at the house, and I can cover and see everything. Everything to the far property line, all the way to the entrance point, and I got one stable image of the beach, of the pond. I can see it whenever I want. It's really cool. I can see if guests have arrived to hang out here at the beach. I can see if I've got people just kind of milling about that shouldn't be out here, or if delivery drivers drive out this way instead of up to our house. There's a lot of benefit to having a camera like that that's not just, fixed position. I can keep an eye on the main area and then still follow people who might be milling about. And that's the PoE version, power over Ethernet. It's just being run by one data cable. They are coming out with a Wi-Fi version. So I realize that most folks may have power somewhere, but not hard data lines. So the Wi-Fi version is coming. That's an option if you want to go that route as opposed to a PoE version. All of this is nice. Love having this kind of property. Love the pond. But at the end of the day, that is a liability. And so having cameras out here to keep an eye on things, you never want to get into a situation where it's a he said, she said type deal. So if you're needing some wide area coverage for your property, check out this camera. It's a whole lot easier to do a one and done setup like this than to try to put multiple cameras in multiple areas. Thanks again to the folks at Reolink for sending this camera out to me. If you guys want to run one down for yourself, there'll be links down in the description. So if you would, hit that subscribe button, come back and see me, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.